Ani Babooli finds himself in a luxurious Spanish hotel, getting ready for the run-in over in Scotland. Now, why the hell is this man over in Spain? Well, let's just say he enjoys the warm weather. It reminds him of home back at Morocco. And it's cold as hell out in Scotland. So if Ani Babooli is gonna get the proper training, he's gonna go do it in the beautiful sunlight, catching some rays, enjoying some great weather, and literally working out until he can't anymore. And as we head into the replay of the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup, Rangers face off against Celtic once again. And as said in the last video, we've played these guys over and over, and we still can't seem to beat them. But this match is the one that settles it. And Kelechi Iheanacho losing out the ball. And now Raskin passing it over to Ant-Man. Ant-Man back to Alex Pozo, who finds Raskin. Pozo now to Babooli. Ani Babooli passing it to Ant-Man, who finds Alex Pozo. And Ani Babooli now making a run, finding some space, creating some space. Ani Babooli still on the ball with an elastico on his left foot into the back of the net. And Ani Babooli puts Rangers up 1-0. And Ani Babooli putting Rangers up. And could this be the match where we finally defeat Celtic? Babooli on the ball, angles, finding Shin. Iheanacho to Rio, and Rio with a shot off the post. It's Brunel turning with the ball. Rio to Angles. Shin on the ball, losing it out. And here's Brunel passing back to Garcia. Brunel finding Diamande. Bayrami finding Babooli. And Babooli now with some skill moves. Ani Babooli looking like Ronaldinho out there. And Bayrami lobbing it over. And it's Ant-Man heading it back to Babooli, but unable to get to the ball. And apart from the goal that was scored by Babooli, this match had nothing to offer other than Rangers finally getting the victory over Celtic and eliminating them from the Scottish Cup. And we move on to face off against Dundee City FC in the semi-final. But first we must focus back on the Scottish Premiership, where we face off against Livingston FC in match week 29. And Livingston look to get it started early, but Asgard passing it over to Babooli after Rangers found themselves getting possession of the ball. And Ant-Man found himself dribbling down the touchline, finding Asgard, who found Babooli, and Ani Babooli spun his way past the defense and smashed it into the back of the net in the 11th minute of the match. A wonderful goal by the main man at Rangers, sending the crowd into a frenzy. And Raskin winning the header, passing it over to Babooli in the 29th minute. Raskin sending it to Gassama, who found Babooli. Ani Babooli smashing it with his left foot, but unable to score. Asgard winning the header. And Ani Babooli going for blood with a way wide pass. And Sterling finding Ani Babooli, who cuts in. And Ani Babooli now on his left foot smashes it. And Blaney blocking the shot, almost bouncing the ball into the net. And with just 15 minutes left in the match, Ani Babooli found himself on the ball, passing it right to Kerr. And now Raskin with the interception, finding Barron, who found Babooli. Ani Babooli with a brilliant pass to Ant-Man. Ant-Man passing it back to Babooli, who turned with the ball, found Brunel. Ani Babooli now with space, smashing it into the back of the net with his left foot. A wonderful goal by Ani Babooli. And Rangers now in a comfortable position to take the 3 points. And with that victory, we find ourselves on 72 points, 5 points ahead of Celtic. And with just a few matches left in the league, 9 to be exact, we are in a great position to see Ani Babooli lift his first ever league championship. Can we see Ani Babooli lift the league title for the first time? Only time will tell. But heading into match week 30, we face off against Dundee United. And Brosic losing the ball to Garcia. And Barron back to Davies. And Davies finding Roskin. Roskin smashing it over to Ant-Man. Ant-Man back to Roskin. Rangers working on some kind of attack here. And it's Roskin passing it back to Sutar. Bayrami, the Albanian assassin, passing it to Ani Babooli. Ani Babooli on the ball, threading it through, slipping it through to Gassama, who finds Barron, who smashes it into the top bins. And Rangers taking a nice and early lead, which could see us get the confidence to collect another 3 points in this match. And look at the celebrations by the players. Look what it means to the fans. Gassama with the interception in the 51st minute. And Babooli passing it to Bayrami, who gets his pass intercepted, unfortunately. But Roskin is there to get the ball back for Rangers. And look at the team playing fluid football now. Everyone playing for the badge. Everyone playing for each other. And Ani Babooli slipping it to Bayrami, the Albanian assassin, who has a well-placed shot, which gives Rangers the 2-0 lead in the 56th minute of the match. An absolute laser beam of a shot from Bayrami sees Rangers collect yet another 3 points heading into the final 8 matches of the league. And as you can see, we still have a 5-point lead over Celtic, and we're gonna need to keep that lead if we want to lift that title. And as we head into match week 31, we travel away to Kilmarnock. And of course, this is gonna be another intense Scottish football match. But Garcia there with the interception, passing it right to Davies. Alex Pozzo lobbing the ball over to Garcia. And Garcia passing the ball back to Davies. Davies to Garcia. And Brunau turning brilliantly. Brunau back to Garcia. And as you can see, Ani Babooli hugging that touchline, making his way towards the center of the field. And Ani Babooli in a great position now. Passing it to Brunau. Ani Babooli continuing his run. And now he creates the space that he needs to create a wonderful attack for Rangers FC. Crossing it over to Ant-Man. Ani Babooli, the orchestrator, the magician, crossing it over to Ant-Man, who uses that big blonde hair of his to smash the ball into the bins and give Rangers the lead. And Bayrami back to Brunel. And it's Babooli turning with the ball, getting brought down. I think that should be a red card and a prison sentence, but I digress. Decker sending the ball to Lowry. Lowry, oh, that's a brilliant pass. And Dackers is not going to miss from there. Wait, they got Deckers, they got Dackers, they got all kinds of Ackers. Fitzsimmons passing the ball to Roskin. Roskin with a brilliant interception, finding Asgard, who finds Babooli. And Ani Babooli with a well-placed shot, scoring the goal, and the orchestrator doing the orchestrating dance known as the Ani Babooli prance. Ani Babooli once again on the ball from the touchline, cutting in. Ani Babooli with a brilliant pass to Diamande. And despite the howler from Diamande, we still collect a victory, which sees us grow our lead to 7 points over Celtic. Our point total reading 78 points after 31 matches played. A record of 24 wins, 6 draws, 1 loss. And heading into match week 32, we face off against Hibernian Edinburgh. And it's going to be another intense match of Scottish football. And here's Bayrami passing it to Babooli. And as you can see, the sun is out in Scotland. The weather is starting to get nicer. And Ani Babooli is letting the guns show. And as you know, Ani Babooli prefers to play in warm weather. And Yuan doing a freestyle down the touchline. Nobody bothering to defend. Letting him just slip right by, and Kelly is there to finally collect the ball. The match still at 0-0. Babooli heading the ball over to Brunel. And Ani Babooli turning with the ball. Ani Babooli laying it off for Bayrami, who sends it back to Babooli. And Ani Babooli creating all the space he could ever ask for, and he's not missing from there. And he goes and addresses the crowd and lets them know who that guy is. And Molotnikov to McGrath. And Alsana back to Molotnikov. Alsana to Bowie. Bowie lobbing it over to Molotnikov with a brilliant cross. And it's Clevier who puts it into the back of the net. And fair play to him. They've earned themselves a draw. And with that draw, the lead goes back down to 5 points. And as you can see, Celtic breathing down our necks once again, keeping this title race nice and interesting for the fans. Heading into match week 33, we faced off a tough test against Hearts FC. And in the 70th minute of the match, the only highlight of the match would come when Nieuwenhof would pass it to Kartum, and Kartum would try to find Valerie, and Valerie's pass got intercepted by Brunel, who passed it to Ani Babooli, and Ani Babooli did what he does best, created the space, challenged the defender, laid it off to the Albanian assassin, who smashed it with his left foot and found the back of the net. And Bayrami with a beautiful goal to put Rangers up 1-0, which eventually gave us the victory. And with that victory, Rangers found themselves still in first place with a total of 82 points, keeping that 5-point lead over Celtic. And shifting our focus back to the Scottish Cup, it is now time for the semi-final, where we face off against Dundee City FC in what will be an all-time classic of a football match. Only one team can go to the final between these two. And Robertson passing it right to Ant-Man, who found Ani Babooli in the 10th minute of the match. Ani Babooli laying it off brilliantly to Ant-Man, who found Bayrami, who put it into the back of the net and gave Rangers a nice and early lead. A wonderful goal by Bayrami found Rangers up 1-0 nice and early. Hamilton working with Ingram. Ingram passing it right to Ani Babooli, and this could get dangerous for Dundee City FC as Ani Babooli tried to curl it in. And Roskin leaping 30 feet in the air to get the ball, and Ani Babooli with a fake pass that would roll out if it was not for the pace of Brunel. And Babooli now with some skills. Ani Babooli with a beautiful shot, but McCracken's there with the save. Wesley passing the ball back to Ingram. Ingram has some pressure on him. Hamilton back to Ingram. Hamilton passing it right to Wesley. Robertson on the ball now. Robertson with a brilliant pass over to Ingram, and Ingram has all the space he could ever ask for in a semi-final with just minutes left in the match. Alex Pozo with the all-important interception, which found Ani Babooli on the counter-attack. And as you know, if you've been paying attention to this series, Ani Babooli on a counter-attack, that's your worst nightmare. Ani Babooli continuing his run, having a shot, scoring a goal, and sliding his way into the final of the Scottish Cup, along with his brothers at Rangers FC. And my, oh my, look at the scenes. What a player. What scenes, what a team. And Rangers find themselves in the final of the Scottish Cup, where they await to play against Hearts. And this, of course, is going to be another all-time classic. Can Ani Babooli lift his first ever domestic cup? I know he lifted the promotion playoff, but we're not going to count that. We're looking for a real trophy. And as you can see, we remain in first place in the Scottish Premiership with a total of 82 points and a record of 25 wins, 7 draws, 1 loss after 33 matches played. Our goal difference is nice and strong at 54, and we will find out in the next episode whether or not we will win the Scottish Cup as well as the Scottish Premiership. And that is where we will end today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This has been Dennis from Clown Wall Gaming. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.